Wait. Okay. What's up, everybody? I did not expect this to actually get like 17 views. I was actually so unsure that I actually just started doing this by myself without recording. But I got it back to normal because of this. So we're back with episode 2. Now, remember last episode? Vengeance Red destroyed Original Red. And Original Red...
I found some of those ducks.
Okay.
That bird city thing come back on there. I got 3 ducks. They were the same kind though.
Okay.
What's wrong?
I'm recording.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'll just cut it out.
Okay. Sorry, buddy.
When I edit it.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
You come play me.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do this episode, but we'll figure it out along the way. Yeah. Let's start off with, I guess, Original Red. So, Original Red is that really high? No, it's on 3. Original Red is going to expand a little more outwards. And expand a little more into the northern area of Vengeance Red. Vengeance Red does not like this. So, they counteract that by getting some western and northeastern expeditions, basically both northern and eastern. So they expand, not northeastern, northwestern. They expand northwards and westwards. And what they're trying to do is they want to surround Red. And now, honestly, since Red is so destroyed, Vengeance Red is actually going to get these guys. Now, about the WICR map thing, I have one flag, which is for Red, before the Civil War. In the first episode, but that's going to be coming out probably tomorrow, so, anyways, Vengeance Red will, expand to do all that, but Original Red has a little bit left and is able to expand just a little bit more north, and they're like that now. Actually, I don't like the way that looks, but they're going to fix, so they're gonna do kind of something like that, yeah. And then Vengeance Red is gonna try it too, but they realize their borders are gonna get really stupid if they do that, so they just kind of stop. But they do continue their western expeditions and start to do this. Yes. Expand more out. And then they also travel to northern Madagascar and find out that there's people there and they're actually heavily associated with the Red. So what do? They pillage them. And they start a war. And, yeah, they get completely slammed. Yeah. Well, they have a colony now. That's fun. Eventually, Original Red, does something because they expand. more north. I know I basically just erased that, but oh well. It looks just a little bit bigger. I mean better. Vengeance Red tries to climb up, but they just start looking real wonky, so they stop. And it's also a lot on the people, but Vengeance Red does eventually stop expanding for a little bit and start focusing socially. Same thing with the red people. Now, the Horn of Africa has actually been making deals with Red to get some of their land, so they could become a little bigger and so they could get some help. And the deal is successful. And the Horn of Africa strikes a deal to get a lot of land. Now their capital is like right in here, squished between Red, but they're actually going to take this whole area. And Red's perfectly fine with it, because Red actually wants to go more north, away from Vengeance Red, because they know they're trying to surround them and stuff. So they actually move their capital towards the sea, and they pretty much abandon that city, but there's still, like a small bit of people living there. About Arabia, though, Arabia will actually expand more into the southern areas of the peninsula and get the UAE, Oman, and the rest of Yemen. So now they're basically just becoming a very big Saudi Arabia. But if Saudi Arabia was basically the entire peninsula. Yeah, that's a peninsula, right? Surrounded by three, yeah, because you got the Persian Gulf right here, the Red Sea, and then the Indian Ocean. Yeah, same thing with Greece. Greece's peninsula, because you got the Mediterranean, the Aegean Sea, and the Black Sea. I get mixed up. That might be Caspian. I think that's Caspian. I don't know. But anyway, they continue to move up the desert. I think that's desert. I don't know. They continue to move up slowly, and then they stop. And then they go after Qatar. And then they stop for reals. Red continues to go more north, and the expedition actually parts way with Red, and Red is not happy with this. They actually become their own country. So what Red does, Red moves up more north and starts expanding in the northern areas, and now they're getting a little aggressive. And since they were focusing on their people, they don't have anything ready, but the Red do, so eventually Red pretty much surrounds the entire northern area of Vengeance Red. Yeah, they look real stupid, I know. But that group that left from Red actually gets out here in Egypt and starts right here. Yeah, that's where they're going to start. And a group of people from Vengeance Red go out exploring, but they go out a pretty long way, actually, from like here, and set up their camp and even an island on this small little area right here. The orange guys are going to claim the rest of this little piece. And, oh. Hey. Sorry, my grandpa came in. Okay. Gonna go in his bedroom now, because he's gonna be watching TV. Stuff. Okay. I probably won't cut that out. But, I think I have voice isolation on, so I don't think it matters. But we'll see when the recording is finished. Anyway, yeah, so orange expands, and red gets ready for war. And the Vengeance Red versus Original Red war, part 2, begins with red kind of actually destroying them, really, and getting a lot of their territory back. But the orange guys actually see this as an opportunity for their northern selves. Same thing with Arabia. Arabia actually sees this. I know they made deals with them last episode, but they're getting way too aggressive. And they're also making deals with Vengeance Red a lot better. So, Original Red gets tag teamed. Yeah. With the horn of it taking this. Orange team even expanding a little more. And taking a little bit of this northern area. Because there's a great farmland right here. That's precisely why. And Original's Red is like, oh crap, that's not good. And Arabia snipes their capital. Oh. Anyways, and original Red basically gives up. Yeah, they got fried again. Got to do the fill. Okay.
You didn't have to come in here.
Yeah, no, I'm recording now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Oh, sorry, baby.
It's fine. Oh, and as you just saw, Original Red got fried. Arabia is going to expand up a lot more. And Arabia's plan is they actually know that this land exists, and what they're going to do is they're going to create one big super Central Asian colony. That's what their plan is. but Middle East. They're just gonna have colonies so they can have more land and make more money off of it and stuff. But that plan doesn't work out. Why? Because a country is actually going to end up going up, to explore. They actually go 3 ways. 3 different groups go 3 different ways. One goes this way, one goes up towards the Caucasus Mountains, but one is going to stay loyal. It goes to where Istanbul would be. And they set up camp and stuff. Now they actually have to decide. Do they go towards their homeland or do they go out? They actually do both. They make expeditions into the Balkans and mainly expeditions into eastern Turkey. They then resume their Balkan expeditions and got this going on. The orange will actually expand a whole lot more. And they get more into the Middle East and make contact with Arabia. And Arabia's chill with it, They gotta get land too. They respect that. But they can't really have the colossal thing that they kind of wanted to have, so they're a little mad about that. But then they replan, and they're like, wait, what if we just make it around the Gulf and we just become very coastal? And that's exactly what they do. They make an expedition here in Iran and even another one towards India. Their main territory is up to where Orange is, and gets around to get to our colonies. Their colonies actually eventually meet up, and they connect. So now we have the Arabian Gulf, the Persian Gulf Empire, basically. Even though they started in Arabia, so it's really the Arabian Empire, but these guys will actually go up towards the Caucasus, but they stop, like, right there. Kind of like how modern Turkey does stop right there. But that's because more expeditions. They actually stop right here because, Greece is very mountainous. Greece is very mountainous. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, it is.
Getting above that freezing line, but still staying in that tar pattern, right?
And actually, a part of these guys are actually going to go down into here and create their own little country. They get Crete and everything, so basically it's kind of like Sparta, almost. They even get to Italy, and they discover Italy, because they were just kind of like sailing through, and they also get Sicily, and then they stop right there. Then they decide to move up a little bit through the Caucasus if they can, because, it's a lot of mountains. The Orange actually meet up with them here. That's all they want, basically, and even take Cyprus. They found Cyprus and they take the Cyprus. These guys have actually just been focusing on themselves. They don't really want to expand. They want that more land. They're actually very happy with their land. But they do actually end up going more south. And get just a little bit bigger. like that. Arabia actually doesn't want anything to do with Africa, and these three countries actually split it, with Vengeance Red getting the least, just really a small sliver, then Orange with the next least, with just that much, and then the Horn getting pretty much all of the cities here, where where the new original red capital used to be. And they take it. The blue, we haven't talked about blue in a while, but they actually end up getting their tail way bigger and actually pretty much span across the entirety of South Africa, or what would be modern day South Africa, and then they fully wrap the tail around them. Arabia will continue to expand their humongous empire and start, taking land. They even expand out as far as towards India to get some land. Of course, this is very far, so guess what? They rebel. And this is actually going to be more orange because they're actually original red. Some of the citizens survived, and they actually pick out a leader, and the original reds become the orange, the orange country. Very small, very weak. Eventually, Arabia starts to get up towards the Caucasus, and they stop around the mountains, and then start getting more into Asia. But then they stop because a lot of people are like, hey, what about us down here? We need some help too. And so the leader goes around doing stuff, helping the citizens, being a good king, basically. So yeah. This is like, I guess, lime, almost. Gets around the Caucasus and gets the boot of Russia, or what I like to call the leg of Russia, but it's basically just the Caucasus. The redder orange is going to continue to be like Carthage and just get like the very slivers of northern Africa. Now, this is gonna be a little crazy, but the people from the Blue Tail want to discover all of Africa, and that's exactly what they do. They explore up this way, they explore this country, they explore towards the Sahara Desert, they explore all of this until they get up until, Gibraltar. And then we get the pink country, and then they get up towards Spain. They start here. Yeah. Took them a while, but their capital is actually right here. But they eventually move it to over here. And then they start taking more of Iberia. The Iberian Peninsula. That's 3 bodies of water, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah. They then get towards the mountains there, right here. They have like a Dora, but they stop. And then they get to the islands. So yeah. How long has this episode been on for? 25 minutes. It's not going to end there, because Arabia is actually about to do something crazy. They actually wanted the Caucasus a lot, because they've got more words that there's certain resources there. And they've heard these myths, so they go to war with these guys. They actually go. They actually get a big chunk of them pretty swiftly, because they are actually pretty unprepared, because all of them were setting up for here. And they get completely. This area gets completely taken out by the Arabian Empire. And they actually find that. And that ended up actually being metals. And they actually find iron and tin. So they start developing these weapons. They call it the Arabian ironness. It's basically just a spear. So, yeah. The Arabian iron. The iron of Arabia. It's basically just a spear. That's what they make. And they make shields out of it, too. These guys are very sad, because they heard a miss of that, too. But it's okay, because they got the Balkans, they got farmland, and stuff like that. Arabia will continue to expand their empire towards down Iran. And they stop, because Arabia has the empire that they wanted. I mean, this is some major progress. You know how long it takes for an empire like this to actually form and grow? Yeah, it took these guys just a few. Like, not like years and years, but just a few. This is what they look like at the start of the episode, and this is what they look like now. Pretty crazy glow up. The coastal country, will actually be expanding more into, I guess, the central area of central south, so the southern Africa. The Iberian Peninsula guys actually do eventually make it out of the mountains and make some major progress in, like, France. They get up toward Brittany and Normandy and get this really big coastal area. They then do some southern expeditions and even get into Italy. And now we actually have the next major empire. Yeah, we're not ending it yet. I know this episode is probably going to be really long. That's good. We have a lot happening. The next major empire. They're actually going to get towards in France. And take up here. Of course, they struggle around here because you got the mountains. But eventually they do get over here, and we have a conflict here, actually. Border conflict. And then they get up into Benelux. And then they go up into Denmark and then start realizing, man, it's a lot colder up here than it is in our actual, like, homeland. This is basically just Western Rome, but without Rome. And it's already Western. They get into the Balkans. And into Germany. This takes about 3 years, maybe 4. They even discover the United Kingdom and get that southern portion. then they stop their hungry expansion to go to war. With who? This little Spartan-like country. But before that, we have the Orange team becoming more Carthage and taking this. And even taking, I forget this island's name, and Corsica. Yeah, Corsica, too. That's as far north as they go. But they actually attack this, like, Spartan kind of like country. They're nothing like Sparta. They're more like Athens. So I guess I could say, like, southern Athens. Sparta, Athenian Spartans. That makes sense. Athenian Spartans. They attack the Athenian Spartans colony, and they actually don't make a lot of progress. They suddenly push with a lot of force, with a huge, humongous military force. This is the first defeat of this empire. The empire is not having it. But they do actually take up more. It's actually because the Orange country were actually helping them, because they're actually kind of scared of them, especially if they grew their area here in Africa. This guy just, like, casually starts expanding in the Balkans, and the Athenian Spartans take a lot and get more into Croatia and get this. This is basically all they get, and they sign a peace treaty. I'm very happy about that. So they expand more to the UK and eventually stop towards Scotland, because I'm pretty sure Scotland's mountainous. I don't know. And they get a voyage into Ireland. I'm pretty sure Ireland's pretty flat, so let's just say they take all of Ireland in just a span of a few months. What about these guys? They're gonna expand more into India. But, yeah. That's about it. This is what the map looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. This recording has been going on for, like, 33 minutes. That's crazy. 33 minutes is actually crazy. And that I guess that, too. So, yeah. Oh. That's gonna be it for this episode of What If Civilization Reset Remaster. It's this thumbnail out by... It's not. This is not the thumbnail map. This is the thumbnail map. This is Profits map, and I need to make this later. But yeah. That's pretty much it. And even before that, I'm making capitals. That's right. So Vengeance Red is actually going to be where pretty much original Red was. These guys' capital going to be here. They're going to be here. Yours is going to be like right there. Can't see Arabia yet. Yours will be right here. Yours is basically like right there in Istanbul. Yours would be right there. And then yours would be over here. And yours will be like somewhere in the middle there. And then maybe the darker yellow. And you guys are right there. So yeah, we got capitals now. Yee! Anyways, that's all. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!